Jake Paul is in rough shape after taking a devastating punch from Mike Tyson straight to the face. Yes, folks, it only took one punch to knock him down for the count. Now, you might be wondering, wasn't their fight supposed to be on July 20th? Well, here's the scoop. During a press conference in Dallas, Jake just couldn't hold his tongue and told Tyson, "I'll bury you next to your daughter." Yes, he went there. Jake thought he could walk away unscathed, maybe even enjoy a nice dinner with his family. Absolutely laughable, right? We all knew Jake's fate was sealed the moment he crossed that line with Tyson. Now he's lying in bed, his pride and confidence shattered along with his physical condition. But before we dive into just how bad Jake's situation is, let's break down what led Tyson to unleash that brutal punch. The heated press conference on May 20th, 2024, at Madison Square Garden was supposed to promote their upcoming fight on July 20th. But from the start, things spiraled out of control. Jake, ever the instigator, decided to push boundaries, cranking up his usual trash talk to a dangerous level. The tension in the room was palpable, and Jake's words were designed to sting. Starting with a bold promise, he clearly had no idea what he was setting himself up for. Tyson, known for his explosive reactions, wasn't going to let Jake's comments slide. What followed was a knockout punch.
To the people is on July 20th, Mike will be put to sleep, and he will feel my power, and I will go down as the man who put Tyson to sleep for the last time.
That no one will soon forget. This wasn't just trash talk, it was like a mouse giving a death threat to a lion. The room was buzzing, but Jake Paul didn't stop there. He went straight for Tyson's heart, making deeply personal and offensive remarks about Tyson's family and his late trainer, Cus D'Amato. Jake crossed the ultimate line when he said, "Cus D'Amato's legacy is overrated. He couldn't even protect his own, and look where you are now. Wasn't he supposed to make you invincible?" The room fell silent. Tyson's face twisted with rage. Those words didn't just sting, they ripped open old wounds. The atmosphere became supercharged. Jake, undeterred, continued poking the bear, mocking Tyson's deceased child. This attack went beyond anything reasonable, and everyone could feel the shift in the air. The tension was electric, and it was clear that something big was about to happen. Jake's most cutting remark came when he said, "Even your own blood couldn't survive your shadow, Mike. What kind of father does that make you?" Then it happened. Tyson's reaction was immediate and explosive. The anger and pain in his eyes were undeniable, and the packed room of media and spectators collectively held their breath. So when I say Jake can't see out of one eye or speak with his twisted jaw, you're probably wondering just how hard Tyson hit him. The punch explained itself. "Let me break it down for you," Tyson roared and lunged across the stage, his fist a blur as it smashed into Jake Paul's face, fueled by all the anger and pain he could summon. The sound of Tyson's knuckles meeting Jake's face echoed around the room, followed by a collective gasp from the audience. Security rushed in immediately, but they were too late to stop the initial beatdown. It took several guards to restrain Tyson, who was still straining to get at Jake. The scene erupted into chaos, shouting, camera flashes, and people scrambling to restore order. When the dust settled, there was Jake Paul, sprawled on the ground, looking like he'd been hit by a truck. His once cocky smile was gone, replaced by shock and pain. Blood trickled from a cut above his eye, and his face began swelling up like a balloon. Those in the room said it felt like a flashback to Tyson's brutal knockouts from his prime. Even Max Kellerman, the renowned boxing commentator, was stunned. Jake, once a promising fighter, now lies battered and broken, a victim of his own actions, he remarked. "I've never seen anything escalate this quickly at a press event." The boxing community was buzzing. Evander Holyfield, Tyson's old rival and current friend, commented, "Mike's temper is legendary, but this was a side of him I hoped was in the past. Jake Paul pushed him too far." Jake Paul pushed Mike Tyson too far, and now we see the consequences. Jake's injuries were no joke: multiple facial fractures, a broken nose, and a shattered cheekbone. Doctors said he'd need surgery to fix the damage. His team released a statement saying Jake is recovering, but the extent of his injuries means he will need time to heal. "We are considering our options regarding the upcoming fight." The severity of the attack had immediate fallout. Promoters and organizers began questioning if the July 20th fight could still happen. Tyson, however, wasn't apologetic. He crossed the line. "This is what happens," he said. The boxing world was left in disarray. What was supposed to be an exciting showdown turned into a real-life brawl with serious consequences. Jake Paul, who wanted to provoke Tyson, succeeded but not in the way he had hoped. The aftermath left the boxing community in shock. Once seen as a rising star, Jake now lay battered and broken, a victim of his own reckless mouth. What was meant to be a press conference hyping up the fight had turned into a battlefield. Unsurprisingly, Jake did what he does best, grabbed his camera and took to social media. He vented his frustrations and showed off his injuries, portraying himself
to pay them a lot of money for no reason. And I'm like, it just pisses me off.
As the victim, trying to garner sympathy from his followers. During a live stream, Jake Paul ranted, his voice shaking with a mix of anger and sadness, a far cry from the cocky attitude he displayed at the press conference. To add more drama, Jake started claiming he had fake injuries. He posted videos of himself in a cast and bandages, insisting he was seriously hurt from Tyson's punch. However, those claims quickly unraveled. In one video, he said, "I dislodged my shoulder lifting a gym boulder during sparring. It hurts, man. The doctor said I can't fight in this state lifting boulders during a sparring session." Hard to believe. Reactions were mixed. Some fans sympathized with Jake, believing he was a victim of Tyson's uncontrollable rage. Jake was out of line, but no one deserves to be beaten like that, one fan tweeted, echoing the thoughts of those who felt Jake got more than he bargained for. Many in the boxing community and among fans sided with Tyson, believing Jake Paul's big mouth earned him every punch. Jake promptly retracted his statement, realizing the absurdity of challenging a legend like Tyson, said sports analyst Stephen A. Smith. Most felt Jake had crossed a line and got exactly what he deserved. Jake's public rants and emotional videos only added fuel to the fire. His outbursts, combined with the questionable nature of his injury claims, further divided opinions. Videos of Jake breaking down, visibly upset and frustrated, spread quickly. In one clip, he lamented, "I don't know how this got so out of hand. I just wanted to hype the fight, not end up in the hospital." This entire mess exposed the immense pressure Jake was under. Despite his cocky public persona, facing a legend like Tyson proved overwhelming, and the backlash from his actions made things even worse for him. Mike Tyson was clearly getting to Jake Paul. His emotional breakdown revealed a side of him no one had seen before, complicating things for the YouTuber turned boxer. As days passed, fans continued to argue on social media and in sports news. Some defended Jake's actions as part of hyping the fight, while others saw his tactics as reckless and disrespectful. This incident highlighted the fine line between hype and hostility and the real-life consequences of crossing that line in professional boxing. Did anyone really think Tyson would stay quiet while Jake made up those ridiculous accusations? No way. Tyson quickly called Jake out on his fake injury claims. "You see that stunt he pulled with the cast hooks and bandages? It's all fake," Tyson said. Then, things took an interesting turn. Just days after the supposed incident, people started spotting Jake Paul out and about, acting perfectly fine. He was seen at a popular bowling alley in Los Angeles, using the same hand he claimed was injured. Eyewitnesses reported Jake laughing, bowling, and showing no signs of injury. The sighting added even more fuel to the controversy surrounding his claims. A few days ago, Jake Paul was seen using the same hand he had displayed as injured for bowling. Tyson pointed out the obvious inconsistency, and the media jumped on it like a dog on a bone. Headlines questioned the truth behind Jake's injuries. But Tyson's relentless mission to expose Jake's supposed cowardice became the hot topic. "This kid crossed every limit. I was forced to do something," Tyson said, defending his actions and stressing that Jake's antics were not just disrespectful but dangerous. Tyson's accusations gained more traction when Jake was spotted at a friend's party, engaging in activities that seemed impossible if he were truly injured. These sightings added credibility to Tyson's claims and began to shift public opinion in his favor. The media, of course, couldn't get enough of the drama. Sports analysts and commentators dissected every new piece of information, fueling a storm of speculation and debate. Big names in the boxing world weighed in, mostly siding with Tyson. Former heavyweight champion Lennox Lewis remarked, "If Jake is really hurt, why is he out there? It just doesn't add up." Jake Paul's $300 million lawsuit against Mike Tyson has added a dramatic legal twist to their already intense rivalry. Filed on May 25, 2024, in the New York Supreme Court, Paul's lawsuit accuses Tyson of aggression and making life-threatening remarks. Tyson went way overboard. He threatened my life, Paul claimed in his legal filing, referring to Tyson's explosive reaction during the press conference. The legal battle has been intense and all over the news. Paul's legal team argues that Tyson's actions weren't just physically harmful but amounted to criminal threats, leaving Paul with severe emotional distress and verified physical injuries. They claim the attack has had lasting effects on Paul's well-being. Tyson's defense, however, dismisses Paul's claims as exaggerated and absurd. This whole thing is a joke. They think a lawsuit and a couple of scratches are going to scare me off, Tyson scoffed in an interview with ESPN on May 28. The legal saga has only added more fuel to the already fiery conflict between the two fighters. In 2024, Mike Tyson's lawyers argue that Jake Paul's injuries are nowhere near as severe as he claims, and that his emotional distress is merely an act to gain sympathy. The potential impact of this lawsuit on the fight's future and Tyson's legacy is massive. If Paul's claims hold up, Tyson could face severe financial penalties and legal restrictions, which could jeopardize his ability to compete. The July 20th, 2024 fight is now in doubt, with promoters and fans questioning if it will even happen. Public reaction to the lawsuit has been divided. Supporters of Jake Paul argue that he has the right to seek justice for what they view as an unprovoked and violent attack. No one should be above the law, not even Mike Tyson. Tweeted one fan, reflecting the sentiments of those who believe Tyson should be held accountable. On the other hand, many in the boxing community and Tyson's fans see the lawsuit as a ploy by Paul to avoid the fight and make easy money. Jake is just trying to cash in. He knew what he was getting into, said former heavyweight champion George Foreman, echoing the thoughts of Tyson's supporters. George Foreman shared this view in an interview with Sports Illustrated on May 30th, 2024, emphasizing that many believe Jake Paul's actions are manipulative and fake. As the legal proceedings continue, the boxing world is left in suspense. The outcome of the lawsuit will not only determine the future of the fight, but could also have lasting impacts on the reputations and careers of both Jake Paul and Mike Tyson. Fans and pundits are watching closely, eager to see how this dramatic chapter in boxing history unfolds.